Straight up, this isn't your typical breakup. We're diving headfirst into a relationship that started with an Instagram DM and ended under the shadow of bullets and broken trust. I'm talking about Yo Gotti and Angela Simmons. It all began almost 8 years ago, back in 2015. Yo Gotti drops down in the DM. On a track stacked with braggadocio, he drops a line that stopped fans in their tracks. He has a crush on Angela Simmons. For music insiders, it was the ultimate flex, but on the surface, wholesome, bold yet respectful. Fans immediately latched on. Memes, tweets, speculation galore. It was the kind of moment that feels scripted, almost too good to be true. Slowly but surely, years pass. Angela Simmons, daughter of fashion mogul and runs house star Joe Simmons, keeps impressing with her business sense and social media flair. Yo Gotti rises higher in hip-hop's hierarchy. Social circles overlap. Slowly, the crush materializes into reality. Finally, the two go public. They sing joyful, affectionate, radiant together. Shout-outs, PDA, matching vacay posts. The manifestation fans had dorked out over years before was happening in real life. Angela herself nodded to it later. She felt Yo Gotti manifested it, shot his shot in the music, and it came true. Fast forward to recent months, ephemeral signs of trouble start surfacing. The first sign, Angela deletes all pictures of Yo Gotti from her Instagram. It's subtle, just a couple clicks, but fans notice. Every relationship has its ups and downs, but this felt deliberate. Speculation runs wild. Some say Angela's moving on. Others hold on to hope. Maybe it's just a social media cleanse. Then Angela sits down with the Angie Martinez podcast, and suddenly, speculation becomes confirmation. She says they're over. She's once again in her single girl era. But here's the thing, she didn't say she ended it. She said it wasn't her decision. That line, thrown on a podcast, cut deep, and fans felt it. She admitted it was mutual, it felt right at the time, and it was fun. But she also said it wasn't something she chose. That nuance spoke volumes, and it shifted the narrative. While Angela remained tight-lipped about why she left, the clue was in what she didn't say. No shade, no rumors, no naming fingers. She kept things classy, stating simply, "We're not together anymore." She also expressed gratitude, respect for him, even love, despite the split. That emotional authenticity struck a chord. It's not every day you see someone admit heartbreak didn't come from them choosing to leave. What does that mean? Bottom line, she tried, but something bigger than love made her step away. And now we follow that trail into Memphis, tragedy, and an invisible threat that changed everything. To understand why this breakup happened, we have to unpack a tragedy that hit Yo Gotti's family and rippled through Angela's entire world. Yo Gotti's brother, known as Big Juk, was shot and killed at a family repast in Memphis. A repast, if you're unfamiliar, is a follow-up gathering typically held days after a funeral, meant for mourning and fellowship. That event itself was marred by a shocking new wave of violence. Around the same time, Memphis courts revealed that Big Juk was allegedly linked to the murder of Young Dolph, an influential Memphis rapper. Court documents claimed that Big Juk financed the hit. The ties between CMG, Yo Gotti's label, and this murder shook the city's hip-hop scene and brought fatal consequences directly into Yo Gotti's family. Angela Simmons, who's no stranger to loss, having lost her son's father, Alan Biggs Edwards, to gun violence, found herself experiencing history repeating. Only this time, the threat felt even more personal and dangerous. Picture it, traveling to Memphis for grief, liable to walk into a powder keg, surrounded by whispers of vengeance and retaliation. Is it any wonder Angela chose to step back? She even made mention of the increased tension, rumors of warnings for CMG affiliates not to return to Memphis. Then Yo Gotti shows up at concerts wearing a bulletproof vest. That image alone, the very symbol of danger, must have weighed heavily on Angela's maternal instincts. Angela kept all of this internal, but her message on Angie Martinez's podcast resonated loud and clear. She talked about needing to make a decision to leave. She didn't bash Yo Gotti. She didn't call foul play or point fingers. She said regulating her emotional and physical safety wasn't optional anymore. That decision was emotional self-defense, and she didn't paint it as a failure. She painted it as a necessity. That takes strength. That's not just ending a relationship, that's walking away to save yourself. If it was a partnership, a romance, and a collaboration, it ended not because of drama, but because of danger. Meanwhile, Yo Gotti's reaction has been nuanced. He hasn't flooded his Instagram with explanations or tears, but he has posted on his new page, Yo Gotti World, a black heart emoji and a globe. Subtle, but intentional. It's a message. Fans interpret it as a sign of lingering affection or a promise that though they moved on romantically, they remain connected. He's honoring the love and preserving the public peace. It's a quieter kind of apology and acceptance, saying, "We shared something, ungrateful, but we can't be together." Here's where the narrative deepens, drifts back into the real world, beyond celebrity gossip. Just as Angela needed to exit the Memphis drama, so too did others. Enter NBA guard Desmond Bane, recently traded from the Memphis Grizzlies to the Orlando Magic. Bane didn't hide his relief. He literally described the Grizzlies' facility as a dungeon, lacking windows and fresh air. Orlando, on the other hand, praised patios, open-air training areas, natural lighting. He called it a breath of fresh air, both literally and figuratively. Now, we're no longer talking about a romantic drama or a family tragedy. We're talking about an environment so oppressive that it pushes grown adults, making millions, to speak out on record. Athletes complaining about it. Sports insiders reporting about high crime, a greater public scene, warnings about safety. The moneyed world of celebrity and pro sports is increasingly turning its back on Memphis, for reasons beyond just hometown loyalty. It's about self-preservation and environment. Let's reflect on what this all means. People in positions of power, like Angela Simmons and Desmond Bane, are choosing peace over pain. They're walking away from environments weighed heavy with history, trauma, and violence. Angela chose to remove herself and her son from a life that brought grief after grief. She didn't end a relationship, she ended the risk. Desmond chose career growth and personal well-being. He opted for light and space over confined danger. The key takeaway: sometimes love isn't enough. Sometimes money isn't enough. Because when life revolves around risk, physical, emotional, societal, it forces you to make a choice. Protect yourself, save your soul, preserve your future. That's the backbone of this story. So what comes next? For Angela Simmons, a single girl era that feels more sacred than celebratory. She's publicly guarded, but privately ready, stronger, calmer, whole. For Yo Gotti, music, activism, survival. He's shielding his loved ones, leaning on art, and navigating through grief. The Black Heart Globe post said it all. Love remains, but it's collateral, not foundation. As for Memphis, the narrative's shifting. The city that birthed legends is now burdened with legacy violence and public mistrust. It stands at a crossroads. Will it address deeper trauma, invest in safety, and rebuild public perception? Or will it continue to push celebrities and stars away? All right, team, your turn. What do you think about Angela Simmons' decision to exit? Was she right to put safety above romance? What about Desmond Bane? Can one training facility's vibe signal bigger truths about a city? And Memphis, is it at a turning point or simply in decline? Let your voices be heard in the comments.